Hi, welcome to a new video dedicated to a new Wi-Fi brush quadcopter, toys quadcopter from Eachine, and is nothing else than the DJI rebranding model. This is the E56, and this one got a small originality. It can be controlled with a new type of controller, a G type, including a gravity sensor. So basically, it's replacing the right stick command of a normal radio with your hand, where you will be apply the direct pitch and roll movement directly on your gravity sensor. So it's a basic model dedicated for beginners, and it's broadcasting also the video signal in Wi-Fi band with a 720p preview resolution. Okay, there is no built-in micro SD card, so you can only record the received signal. So let's discover this small box. So as you can see, it comes with this transportation bag, not so bad for a basic toys quadcopter, where you can fit everything inside. So what we'll be able to find this radio, okay, and as you can see, so very similar to a JJC G sensor model, but now branded by Eachine. A small power transmitter power, where all very small red LEDs can be found on top. A little bit tricky sometimes to turn on, and you have to unclip the back cover to discover the tray to welcome two AAA batteries and rechargeable batteries are working with, so that's a good point. So 4 panel button, okay, so the right one is to engage the gyros calibration if you long press more than 2 seconds. The bottom one is an emergency stop, okay, in any case press on it and the machine will land automatically. This one, the left one, is to turn on and off the lights, and this one is the upper one is to engage it or to disengage the headless mode. We have a joystick. So this one is nothing else than replacing the left sticks of normal radio. So it means that if you press left and right, it will control the yaw, okay, and if you push up and down, nothing else than the throttle of the machine. So the right stick is controlled now by your hand by applying a pitch, okay, and rolls like this, and you will be able to control. So 3 speed mode available, and you can cycle between them by this button. And finally, to start the machine or to disarm, you have to click on the joystick. Okay, basic radio, but you can grab it very easily in the end. Here is the machine, okay, I will explain if you understand. And what we have, an instruction manual, E56, where you can find the basic characteristics, okay, as explained, the role of the button I already described, and the more important I will say is the Wi-Fi part, okay. And if you download directly from Google Play the application called Eachine Fly, I observed that when I downloaded from the Google Play, I didn't receive any FPV signal, so I had to QR scan this one, okay, and after the top left, and after it was working. So be aware if you don't see that you have any FPV signal, your camera is not broken, but you need definitively the right apps version. No specific password, you have to just connect on the Wi-Fi in the 2.4 GHz band. What you can find, a bag with some basic props, only 2, one clockwise and one counterclockwise, a screwdriver, the stickers with some 4 pads, okay, and what you can find, the charger of the battery. So be aware when it's charging, you don't have any light, and when the battery is charged, you have a red light appearing, okay, you have this small DC connector. So here is now the machine, and as you can see, got basically the shape of the DJI Spark, but it's a toys. The plastic quality of the cover is basic, transparent white plastic. I think you can find different color. And to turn on the machine, you have to press more than 2 seconds on the power button. The same to turn off, so let's do it, okay. And after a couple of seconds, you have this really flashing frontal white LED, so it's good for flight in lost condition during the lights. That's great. Okay, and you just need to unfold, and it's super easy to unfold the arms, okay, to free, and on each you can find laterally these motors like this, some brushed motors. I hope you will be able to find, okay, to look, okay, and there seems to be some 7 millimeters, okay, basically, or maybe close to 8 millimeters, and as you can see, they are installed perpendicularly to the motor shaft. It means that you have some gear system inside, and I don't see any ball bearing, so be sure before each flight or after each crash that each props can spin freely manually, and basically I deeply regret the absence of any specific oil bushing at least, or some stuff like this, to reduce the friction of the shaft in the gear system. Okay, so it's like this, and on the rear side we have also light. Okay, so we can turn on it, the power button, sorry. Okay, some red light. Okay, I can maybe, okay, sorry, the battery was not completely full inserted. Some basic red light, also very visible, so it's good for day or light flight. So let's talk about the battery, and we have a proprietary battery. Unfortunately, at least in terms of cover, you have to push this rear button like this, and to push it after on the right to free it. Okay, and this is a basic 500 milliamps power 1S. But I am pretty sure that if you unscrew this one, you can free the back cover of this and insert the LiPo. It's probably a basic LiPo just jailed into this basic casing. So if you have already some and this one start to die, it's not very hard to find and to insert a new one. So the weight of this battery is about 18.6, so a bit heavy for just a 500 milliamps hours. If you need the exact dimension, but it's not super important because it's a proprietary battery, but it's something about 73 by 21 by 11, I would say. And the weight of this quadcopter, okay, without the battery, is 66.7, and with we are reaching a total weight of 85.3. So for a gear system it's acceptable, especially if we have some 8.5 by 20 brushed motors. So the good news is concerning the camera. First of all, you can adjust the lens orientation up to a minus 90 degrees in down tilt orientation, but at least you can install it horizontally. I would even prefer to have a small positive angle, especially if you are flying forward. So nothing really specific, just clips the battery, push it like this until you hear a click. It well clips. And well, the plastic quality, especially of the canopy, is basic. Okay, the plastic in general is basic, and this is the only interface. This is a DC connector to insert the main charger. Okay, expect 20-30 minutes to recharge the battery. So now it's time to show you the application. Okay, and I will show the Android version. Okay, first things to know, if you decide to control the quadcopter with a remote, you have to bind it first with the radio. So how to proceed? Pretty easy. Okay, long press the quadcopter first. Okay, and when you see the lights keep flashing, just turn on the radio. Okay, and you will need to definitively bind the machine by pressing the joystick up and down. And now the white LEDs keep solid. Okay, so if it's still flashing, it's not completely bound, and when it's white solid, it's perfect as well, the rear solid. So if I want, I can press and start the engine by pressing centrally this joystick. But in the same time, when it's bound, we can also retrieve the FPV signal. So as I said previously, you need definitively to download, QR scan the one printed in the instruction, and after a couple of seconds you have this UAV with a specific number behind. So you have to press connect, okay, and when it's done you can start the Eachine Fly application. So basically you have to press play, and after a couple of seconds we have the FPV signal. So as usual with all this Wi-Fi transmission, don't expect a frame rate more than 15 seconds, okay? And as you can see, okay, maybe more like this. As you can see, the latency is about 0.3 second minimum, and the frame rate will decrease versus distance, so the number of frames will drop, okay? But basic icon are to take photos, okay, it will be recording on your smartphone devices, to start a camera, so the file will be also recorded on your device, okay. Then a file explorer where you can replay, or okay, for the snapshot, or if you press on the video you will be able to find the video recording in H.264 format in a 720p resolution. You can select the speed mode, but it's when it's controlled with the tablet or smartphone, okay? So it means that you didn't bind it with the radio first, okay? And after we have the gravity mode, so it means that you can control the machine also with the tablet. So if you don't like this type of remote, you can completely control the machine like this, okay, by turn on the gravity mode. And if you want to control also, you have to press off to let appear the joystick. But as you can see, you have some virtual stick appearing. So when it's done, you can only via the apps perform a 360 flips by pressing this button. So this feature is only available from the apps. After you can disable it. We have some basic settings, and for example here the bottom one is to make the gyros calibration. We have with the, here the this one is the headless mode, and after is to flip reverse the image, okay, completely useless. And for VR 3D Google to split the image in two, okay, we can disable. So now it's time to test this machine in the field. The bonus is we have some 720p preview, and the video is not so bad. Look, that the precision is much better than the poor 0.3 megapixel sensor, so it's much more defined, okay, so that's great. And let's make now a test of the face safe, which is very important. So I will press the button like this, apply some minimum throttle, and now I will turn off the radio, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 second minimum before to have a very efficiently working face safe. So it's too much in my point of view. You have a potential flyaway, not so negligible. So if you were moving fast forward, within the 7 seconds you can perform at least 30 meters, so you can lose it, okay, or be out of control. Okay, so now it's time to test this machine in the field. Today will be a little bit windy, but I hope thanks to the barometers the stability of the machine will be quite good to offer more or less stabilized videos. Welcome to the demo flight of the E56. So today it's a little bit windy, so we'll be able to check the wind resistance. So at least in beginner mode it won't be, so you will need to be at least in intermediate mode. So at least press once this here, this button, and more will be even better in expert mode, so the last one. So I will turn on the machine, and if you need and you want to control the machine with this G sensor, you need first to bind it with before to connect to your Wi-Fi device, smartphone, tablet. So I will press recording, turn on the machine, okay. First drawback, we don't have any specific selfie mode, okay, so no way to press a button to invert the control on the radio. It's a drawback. Anyway, I will turn the transmitter, and as I said previously, to definitively bind the controller, you need to push up and down, and you can hear these two small beep. Now I'm ready to fly. Another drawback about the transmitter, if you have this one on your left or right hand, where to have your smartphone, because you have to, for example, if you want to perform some flips, some stuff like this, to press recording, you will need to press on the smartphone, and it's not easy with one hand to hold and to press with your finger. It will be very tricky. So why not have a small, I don't know, smartphone holder here to carry both, okay, and grab it very well, firmly the smartphone. It's a drawback. So anyway, I have to install my tablet down like this and to install. So what I will do is to connect. Okay, so I will press recording. Okay, it's recording here in the app, so I will check that that in terms of settings I'm connected. Okay, so I will run the software Eachine Fly and press play to have the FPV feedback, so it's clear. So how to hold while pressing, it's a little bit tricky, but anyway, since I'm recording the FPV feedback through my screensaver, it's not very useful to record via the apps. Anyway, like this, I will immediately turn in intermediate mode, 2 beeps and take off. Okay, so just push this throttle, okay, and via the G sensor, okay, and as you can see, right, back, okay, it's very good. Okay, so the altitude stabilization is not so bad. Okay, in terms of variation of altitude is really efficient. Little vibration and the FPV feedback, but what I like is the 720p preview is not so bad. The light sensitivity is not so bad. The color rendition not so bad for a small and basic quadcopter. So they definitively installed something a little bit better in terms of oops, sorry, I got a message. In terms of our camera. Okay, that's great. So don't forget that you need to push back. Okay, fast forward, back, like this, and the other is to okay, whoop, panic button. Okay, because I was going to the tree. So as you can see, panic button is working fine. In emergency, is stopping motors, so it could be tricky for the first attempt. So this panic button is really a good thing. Anyway, let's rearm. I've got one props blocked, I think so. Anyway, okay, and let's take off one more time. Okay, so to inverse the control is a little bit tricky with the hand, and definitively it lacks a selfie flight mode. 3 beeps, now I'm more in expert mode, as you can see. Okay, you have to inverse the command with the hand. At least you have some very good and smart and bright front LEDs. It's good, and the FPV feedback is relatively good. As usual, you will have some what I say, video frame lost versus distances. Okay, but it's not so bad. So I won't try to okay, you can see the video in the trees, and on the background, look, the trees out there moving. Okay, I press the emergency because I was close to the branch, and I really like this feature since it will land more or less vertically or horizontally. Sorry, you won't damage too much the machine, and nothing has been broken. Despite the fall from maybe close to 5 meters, no problem. So now I'm in the fastest mode. So the flight duration is about 7 minutes. Okay, look, the maximum speed, not so bad. You have to look that, you have to break your wrist, but it's not so bad. Okay, left and right, let's try to yaw a bit, decrease the altitude. Okay, it's pleasant flyer, it's a new way to control and it's not so bad, definitively. Take a couple of seconds to, okay, now you have to reverse. But it's feasible. Okay, so you will have to learn a bit, but for beginners it's not so bad. And don't forget to have an headless mode to make your life more easy, but I would dream about a more selfie mode to control with inverse control. So be aware of as I announced in the unboxing part, no ball bearing, no oil bushing element in the shaft section, so be aware to inspect each time. Okay, I will try to make yes, you can see me. Hello. Go back. Okay, not so bad. Oh, the wind is moving the stuff. So I have to find the wind, and it's not so bad. Sometimes you have to break your arms, your wrists. It's emergency. Up. I was going to the forest part. Okay, so as you can see, no problem, and this element is a key features, is really definitively a good thing. Do I prefer a normal radio control? I will say yes, because I'm more accustomed with, but for beginners indoors when it's not super windy, is not so bad, I would say. And the lag is not so important. I was expecting something more laggy. The stabilization is not so bad. Okay, I will start with directly. No flashing light yet, so the LVC alarm is not yet here. So I have to fight the wind, moving backward. So it's moving, fighting the wind. Holy. And even despite the presence of wind, the video signal is not so bad. Okay, I think I will start to be out of battery. Yes, I feel the motor is more weaker now. Yes, so it's time for me to land. Well, it's not a super landing, but not so catastrophic. So especially in wind conditions, so it's good to see how perform this machine in the windy condition. It's clearly not a super wind fighter. And it's more an indoors machine, okay, able to show super stabilized videos, okay. The Wi-Fi feedback is correct with a good 720p resolution. The color rendition is almost great. I won't say perfect, okay. The light sensitivity is still not super important. We have a basic CMOS sensor. Look, that's the shadow zone versus the white. You can see that the light sunny part is a little bit overwashed, okay, turning to white, so it's not yet perfect, but look, the shadows on here, okay, we can see how it's performing the camera, but the 720p preview is not so bad. Okay, so a good basic Wi-Fi toy quadcopter. I won't say is not to buy, at least, but you can buy it. Okay, for beginners, and don't expect too much. And if you want a real selfie drone, okay, bypass this one, obviously. But for I would say, review some time ago the air selfie, and this one I would say is much better for almost any point. And this one costs only a fraction of the air selfie mode. What I regret the absence of a selfie flight mode available from the radio. Okay, basically the only things we have, and in terms of radio protocol, I'm not sure this one can be bound by another JJC model or Eachine model. So, and unfortunately, I'm afraid it's one more time a new radio protocol. Okay, so we try to inspect the radio chip install and give a little bit more detail in the dronemaniac.com written review. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time. Bye bye.